Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It's Thursday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It's 1930 Zulu on February 24th, 2022. It's time for the DX Engineering Manufacturer Showcase. And this is a show where we talk about the manufacturers, and we have over 160 of them here at DX Engineering. We talk about the manufacturers that make the stuff that everybody wants to buy. And today we have a very special guest. It's James, N4EGA, and he is with CQMaps. Hello, James.
Howdy, Tim. How you doing?
Good, good. So
Good.
tell us about you. Tell us about your company.
Sure. Obviously James. My call sign's N4EGA, and that's a throwback to when I was in the Marine Corps. Our emblem was Eagle, Globe, and Anchor, and I thought that would make a good homage to it. I was originally licensed as a ham radio operator as KD4IQI back, I believe, 92, but that's been a while ago, so I don't quite remember. Let my license lapse between the military and college and all that, and then got back into it about 2008. And that's basically the ham radio side of my personality. I've tried to do everything, it seems like. And then over the years, or let's see, so going back to college, I'm a graduate of University of Tennessee with a degree in geography, specifically for map making and geographic information systems. And so over the span of some of my ham radio hobby and professional experience, they kind of coalesced into making maps for amateur radio operators. So that's kind of like the 30-second elevator speech of how a hobby and a career kind of came together into one.
So you have a degree in geography, and you're making ham radio maps.
Yeah.
And so you obviously have a passion for this hobby.
Yeah, I sure do. And it's been map making and ham radio have been very good to me. I've learned a lot about electronics over the years that has allowed me to do a lot of my own repairs on not just ham radios, but vehicles as well. You know, like if a computer goes bad on an old car, I can normally fix it sometimes anyway, or at least have an idea of what's wrong with it. So ham radio has been very, very good to me in the, I guess, gosh, almost 30 years that I've been doing it now.
And so let's talk about the CQMaps.
Sure.
And hopefully you see my screen.
I see you. I don't see a screen just yet. Oh, something's popped up. Yep, there we go.
There we go. All right. So let's talk through these. This is what we sell from you at DX Engineering.
Sure.
And let's walk through these and talk about the various maps.
Okay. So you would go ahead?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. So the map that you got up right now, this is a I call it the DX it's a map of the world in a what's called a Winkle projection. So it looks a little bit different than what most of us are used to, which is a Mercator. So I wanted something a little bit different, and it's got all the CQ zones, and it's got all the entities on it, which is the DX entities and the CQ zones. And what I try to do is make them a little bit more representative of the actual zones and not so much the countries. So even though all the countries are delineated by the black borders, I needed something for the user to look at instantly and go, okay, so I'm in this CQ zone 1 or 5 or whatever. And that way they can get a pretty good, quick assessment of where they're talking to, just to make it a little bit different and a little bit easier for the purchaser, the ham radio operator, to kind of get an idea of where their signal is taking them to at that particular moment in time. So again, we got the CQ zones, and then we got sometimes they're individual countries or entities, as we like to call them, and sometimes it's a grouping of entities like the U.S. for CQ Zone 4. We got a little bit of the U.S. and Canada there as well.
And so tell us about how these maps come. Are they laminated?
Yeah. So I take care of every map that somebody buys. I've hand touched everything. So that goes from printing to laminating, and then roll them up, stick them in the tube. So when you buy one of these, it's printed on a high quality 24 by 36 inch map for the large ones. and that's run through a double-sided heat laminator. And it's perfect for taking a magic marker and making notes on it, and then being able to take like an alcohol pen or something and wiping it back, or an alcohol pad and wiping it back off. So they're pretty hardy maps in that regard.
And so now here's a really cool map. Talk about this.
Okay, so the grid square maps of the U.S. Those were kind of complicated to build because within the GIS world, we use certain types of data files in order to collate and make our data work a certain way. But there wasn't anything for the grid squares that go across the entire world. So this one took a while to make, and I know within the U.S. We have our grid chasers, and everybody likes to talk about what grid they're on. And so I put this superimposed on the other type of map that I make, and y'all sell, which is the U.S. Callsign Map. And so now, like for me in Knoxville, Tennessee, if I'm Echo Mike 7-6 and I'm talking to Echo Mike, 7-8, the next county over, or whatever, then I can see on the map exactly where that is. And on the in the information key on the right side of the map, as you look at it, you'll see all of the state capitals with their the state that they're in, obviously, and then the grid square that they fall in as well.
Boy, that's nice. I mean, that is really nice.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of positive feedback, especially when it gets into the grid chasing season. Hams come out of the woodwork for these, and they're really, really enjoying them.
Yeah, no, that is a great map. And then let's go down to the third map here that you have.
Yeah, and this one is it's a replica. So the first grid square map we looked at was a 24 by 36, which I guess is the standard size. And this one's a 19 wide by 13 tall. And the mobile grid square guys go nuts over this one because, again, it's laminated. They're driving around doing that thing, and they're able to just start checking off grid squares as they get to them, and take it with a magic marker or something, make their check, and go on to the next one. So they really enjoy that one. And plus, the small one's good for people who have cramped offices. They're got awards and stuff everywhere. And plus, you sit on your desk and start marking up without having to get up.
Yep. And so if you have any questions today for James, looking at the maps, CQMaps, please put them in the chat. James, we got Whiskey 9 Kilo is on. And Whiskey 9 Uniform Sierra.
Howdy, guys.
Sleet and snow are coming today.
We're swamped down here in Tennessee. It's been raining like crazy all week. We had 2 really good 70-degree days, and then now it's a flood out there.
James, and this is what's really cool about this show is here's Victor Uniform 3 Tango November Lima, and it's the middle of the night in India.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And he's on with us. And from France, it's Fox 4 Juliet Alpha Kilo, and our good friend Aaron from Detroit, W8 Victor India Papa, and Joe, the kit expert, K0 November Echo Bravo, and Papa Echo 2 Kilo, and Oscar Yankee 1 Oscar Fox from the Faroe Islands.
Oh, wow.
Very nice to have you on. And Kilo Oscar 4 Alpha Fox Lima. And George says, do you have any maps of Ireland, James?
Not specifically of Ireland. There's always a potential to contact me directly to make custom maps. This is just what I do as a map maker and or cartographer, if I want to sound like really specific about it. And so it's something that I do all the time. A ham radio operator from a DX country will contact me, say, hey, can you make this, or can you change this up a little bit to suit my specific needs? And that's certainly something that is easily done. I should say easy. It's straightforward.
And so, James, how would they go about contacting you?
The best way to contact me is info@axlesandantennas.com, which that's a weird name. I know that's something historic, but it's AXLESANDANTENNAS.com, which is also my direct website, axlesandantennas.com.
Okay. And Joe asks, does he make the style that centers on a QTH for antenna aiming?
Yes, we have a couple different styles of that. One which is the 24 by 36, and then 19 by 13, and we call them the azimuthal projection maps. And it's got you in the center, and then everything else within on the globe of the Earth is flattened out into a 360-degree path. So if you're talking to the north, or if your antenna is pointed to the north, you see who your direct line of DX should be in a northern azimuthal from your center QTH. So, and that map is wildly popular, especially if you have any kind of directional antenna.
Right, right. And Dino, Kilo Lima Zero Sierra down in Virginia says, thanks, Tim, for letting us know about James's company.
Awesome.
And from New Zealand, and the sun just came up. It is Friday morning there in New Zealand. Zulu Lima 1 Tango Tango.
Wow.
And Ed says, I was wondering if he did a map with the center at my QTH so we can see short path and long path. That really goes back to the previous question.
Yeah, I think that would be best handled with just the standard azimuthal map that you can see on my website.
Right.
Yeah, I've never heard that. I paused because I never heard that question put like that before, but I think that would be the best type of map for that.
And Ed, long path isn't always 180 degrees out. We worked a lot of long path last weekend. And Kilo Echo 5 Oscar Lima is on, and in Beaver County, Pennsylvania, Kilo Golf 3 Lima. And from Denmark, it's Oscar Zulu 4 Papa Alpha Tango is on.
Wow.
And we've got Alpha India 5 Fox Radio. And Dan, WA4 Mike Oscar Mike says, hello and good afternoon, Tim and James. Does the curl come out of the maps after being in shipping tubes for a length of time?
Yeah, if you put what I'll do, or I've told people, is just lay them flat out and put some books on them, and they usually will relax after a while.
Okay, so it's a pretty simple matter to handle that, right?
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of people, which I couldn't believe this when I first started hearing this years ago. People will frame these like glass frame or a plastic frame. Put it so it's like, hey, it's no longer a map, it's artwork. And I was absolutely floored and humbled when people started doing that. They send me pictures. I was like, wow, I can't believe I have thousands of ham radio operators with my artwork on their wall now. And it's awesome. It really is. I got goosebumps thinking about it right now.
Well, I'm big on maps. You can see one of the 4 geochrons here.
Oh yeah,
over my head, and then I went to National Geographic and got big, full. I mean, I think they're probably 8 foot by 8 foot maps that I have in my barn, and they are just beautiful. I can't get enough of the maps, and so I'm right with you, James.
Yeah, and I've been a map nerd since I was. It's kind of funny. It's like, how did you get started up into maps? And my father was in the Army, so I grew up an Army brat. And my entire life revolved around Army stuff, military surplus stores, just the whole G.I. Joe of the 80s. And my dad figured out that if he put a map in my hands, a military map, as we were driving down the Autobahn, we lived in Germany, it would completely shut me up. And I would call out mile markers and stuff as we were traveling to like Nuremberg and Bamberg and Frankfurt and stuff. So it really has been a lifelong thing for me.
Well, that's a great thing when you find your passion, and so it's not even like working.
Right.
That is so. And so Ed, Whiskey 9 Uniform Sierra says, thanks for what you're doing. We got Jimmy.
Thank you.
Kilo Bravo 8 November is on with us, and from Arkansas, it's Kilo Fox 5 Sierra Delta Echo. Roger.
Howdy, Roger.
Kilo Charlie 7 Mike Sierra Uniform, and Kilo Bravo 0 Sierra Quebec Whiskey. And then we've got Carlos on, and it says TI2 Charlie. And this is in Costa Rica. They finished their 160 meter receive antennas for the contest coming up this weekend. And Terry says, greetings from Kilo Echo 8 Charlie Victor Alpha. Those maps sound like it's another very useful tool. And That's
Thank
what we
you.
like to do here, James. Is we have. I think last count it was like 55,000 different things that we sell
Oh,
in DX
wow.
Engineering, and some people don't know that we have the CQ maps, and now they
Yep.
will.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was very like when DX Engineering approached me to sell maps to y'all, I was like, wow, this is cool. It feels like big time, because like a lot of products that you sell, a lot of us started off with a desk in a garage or something. Because that was literally how I began this. My computer station here, this gigantic printer out in the garage, and here I am, almost 6 years later, I think, and it's been you know it's just grown exponentially, and it's far exceeded my wildest expectations. And this has
Well,
been a really fun career.
yeah, we're so glad to have them. And Craig, K1 Quebec X-Ray, who actually is from my area here, he used to have the Ham Radio bookstore and worked at Ham Radio magazine. And
Hmm.
he says he loves the military maps. And then, of course, we've got Whiskey One Quebec Papa is on with us as well. Well, James, I want to thank you so much for coming on today with us.
Well, thank
And
you.
it's been a lot of fun, and the viewers have had a good time. And
Awesome.
we've all learned some things. So we want to encourage you to keep doing the maps and keep innovating. And thanks for all you do for Ham Radio.
Well, thank you, Tim, for having me on, and to everybody who watched 73. And we'll see you guys on the air.
All right, sounds good.
All
And
right,
we'll see you
perfect.
tomorrow for the weekend special. It'll be coming up tomorrow afternoon. On Friday, we'll have a good weekend special getting ready for the 160-meter contest. Until then, 73 from DX Engineering.